Fall is a very busy time for farm families with wheat drilling and fall harvest coming up. Hello, my name is Sandra Wick, Crop Production Agent with the Post Rock District of K-State Extension. You know, I'm out in an alfalfa field and we've gotten several calls in the office about the fall armyworm. You might think it's a different kind of worm, but we're going to focus on the fall armyworm now because they're not only in alfalfa right now, but they're also affecting some of your lawns and things. So if you have a lawn question or your lawn's being affected by these worms, you need to call Cassie Thiessen, and she is our horticulture agent in the Beloit office, but you can call any of our offices in the Post Rock District and we will get you connected with her. I'm going to focus on the crops that we have. We've had several calls, especially on alfalfa fields. Now, I want to also warn you, people are drilling wheat now, or they will soon be drilling wheat, and when that wheat comes up, these fall armyworms, if they're not controlling the alfalfa, will move into your newly seeded wheat and after it emerges. So let's talk again about the fall armyworm. So if you remember, about a couple months ago, we had an invasion of moths, and these were actually the fall armyworms. So what happened was the females lay their eggs, and now the larvae on the worms are hatching in primarily alfalfa. Okay, so I've already had several fields that farmers have sprayed, and some of their alfalfa was actually damaged. So the fall armyworms are really active right now in your alfalfa fields. All right, so let's take a look at the management guidelines. If you follow our Facebook posts, I've posted a really good informational graphic that goes through all the control options and your management guidelines. But you need to remember, the fall armyworms do not overwinter here in Kansas, which is a very good point. So scouting right now is the key. So you can see me here using actually a net. So this is probably the most effective way to do it. You can get down your hands and knees and you can try to find them because there's probably going to be all different sizes here. So the worms might be anywhere from 1/2 inch up to 1 inch and a quarter. And I will tell you here kind of the management guidelines in order to follow those on when you might need to spray. So when they're smaller, which is about 1/2 inch or less, the worms are much easier to kill because they're much more vulnerable, and so the chemicals are easier for them. If it gets up to 1 inch to 1 inch and a quarter, they're just about done. So if you planted a new alfalfa field this August, only 1 to 2 worms per square foot can actually cause some significant damage on newly seeded alfalfa. Where this established field that we're in right now, you know, if it's 2, 3, 4 years old, it can take maybe 10 to 15 worms per square foot before it might warrant spraying or to spend the money on that. If you don't actually see the worms, but you see about 25 to 30% of a window pane injury, and we're going to show you a picture here of what that window pane injury may look like. If you go out in your field, just kind of walk your field or get in your gator or whatever, and you see 25 to 30% of your field that's showing this damage, then it might be warranted to spray as well. So as I said, these worms reach maturity about 1 inch to 1 inch and a quarter. So if you're finding the majority of your field with that size of the worms, they're pretty much done and they're going to pupate and turn into the moths. Okay, so let's talk about the control options now. We're going to show you some pictures here, but we have some excellent publications that go through all the controls and the different chemicals you can use. It's our K-State 2025 Alfalfa and Wheat Management insect guidelines or guides here. You can pick these up either online at our website, or you can come into any of our offices in Beloit, Lincoln, Mankato, Osmond, or Smith Center and pick up these publications. So as you can see, there's several chemicals listed here in the publications. All of them are pretty much effective on the worms, so you just need to study the costs associated with the chemicals, and then you make that decision on which one you'd like to use. So as I said, you can go to any of the offices to pick up these publications. Also, go to our website and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Blair Todd, our livestock agent, and myself, we put together a weekly newsletter with the hot topics of crops and livestock. So I've included such things as the fall armyworms and other agronomy and livestock events that are coming up here in the district. So please go on there and follow us on Facebook, because we will put a link on there, or on Instagram as well, or call any of our offices and just tell us to add you to our weekly newsletter, and we can get you on the list and email that to you weekly. So we are here for you. So simply give us a call and let us know if you have any other questions. So this has been Sandra Wick, the crop production agent with the Post Rock Extension District and K-State Extension.